And like, I think that's where I went with being drunk most of the time. And it's just, and that's where I kind of fell in love with it early on and fell in love with that feeling of just like being out of my mind, being out of my, that mental struggle that I was dealing with as I was growing up. And I felt like I was happy. And I didn't always feel that when I was sober or younger. And so that really captured me and pulled me into that. And did you have an experience like that? Like, was there a feeling you just fell in love with? Was it the social aspect that you enjoyed? Like, what kind of pulled you in early on that kind of kept you going with it?
I would say, I mean, exactly what you said. It definitely helped me in terms of breaking down those emotional barriers. I do remember just hearing you say like crying. That honestly brought back a lot. Like, because I think, especially during like those high school years, maybe like early 20s and whatnot, I think I cried a lot probably, and while it sounds like that, it's good because I'm letting out these emotions that I might not normally be letting
Mm,
out. It's really counterintuitive because you're not really doing the work to, you know, change your mental health that you need to be really working on because, drinking only makes the anxiety and depression worse. Of course, this is all hindsight, but um, yeah, that just brought back a lot. And so I would say just that feeling, the social aspect of it, I mean, it made me very uh, comfortable in my own skin. I would say growing up, I just was not comfortable in my own skin. I had a lot of, um, I would say, identity issues, and then just with the family dynamic I was in, I wasn't like a depressed kid, but I had a pretty traumatic childhood. And it was a lot to deal with. And so I didn't really deal with it. I mean, this was a time and age where mental health wasn't really addressed. And so drinking and smoking weed was primarily what I did. It really took the edge off. Just, yeah, let me go into that void without really having to do anything. And it also just let me fit in with like all types of different people, if you will, I guess. I didn't really know I didn't really know like where I fit into the world at that time, I would say. And so it was a really easy way to fit in with anybody almost. Because I would say I was saying earlier, it was pretty easy for me. I was very friendly drunk, and so I was really easy. It was easy for me to kind of go to group when I was drinking or stoned or whatever, and that's what I did. And I just going like looking back now, it's like it was an easy way to cover up all of my feelings, all of the true like anxiety and depression I was feeling. I mean, growing up too as a gay man, like that was probably one of the biggest things that I was struggling with at that time because I felt very alone and isolated in that world. Um, and that identity, especially in Montana, I I had nobody I felt like, so it was an easy way to just kind of forget about it, I guess. Um, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that makes it makes a lot of sense, and it's so funny because I could probably say everything you just said almost with the I struggled so much with my identity and growing up, and so hearing you say that, and like I just had a conversation last night with my wife about it, and how like I went through this spell where I was, I felt like when I was growing up, and I don't think we're too far off in age, but the whole clique thing when we were younger was big. You were
Hmm.
jock or you were
Oh yeah.
gothic or you were preppy, and so I went through all those phases, just trying to figure out where I fit in. And like you said, the alcohol and drugs made me fit in with anybody, and
Yep.
I was able to have a conversation and relate to anybody I was around. And I thought that was, I'm a people person. I, even though I feel very introverted inside,